All right. This is not Sales Pipeline Radio. This is not B2B Book Club. This is not CMO Coffee Talks. This is Matt and Adam ranting. Basically, what this is going to be. Adam Kaiser, thanks you very much for joining us. So so this was born out of a thread in the CMO Coffee Talks Slack.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to let you set this up because I mean you posted this and you set it up and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean I think like we have this. There's this channel, Ranch channel, which I think is really cheap therapy. Actually, keeps the copays low and so forth.
True. Yeah.
And the last couple of weeks I've been just buying kind of stuff. Right, it's just a couple of things, and we're not talking about like expensive. We're talking about like monthly credit card SaaS products that are $100, $200, $300 a month, if that.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to fix a couple of things. I'm still relatively new in my role, and so I've in two situations have gone on literally like I'm like card in hand, and I've had a question, and I'm like, all right, I got it's like product led growth, sign me up, the whole thing, and I'm like, here's my question, and both times they won't give me the answer. And they want to set up a discovery call.
Right.
Okay. So the first one, so that was my rant. I'm like,
and so first of all, so just to be clear, you're ready to buy.
I'm ready to buy. I've got a credit card out. I'm like, take my money, please.
Right.
You're going to make my life. And in both cases, I'm a previous customer. I've used the product.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Both. So like, I know exactly what I'm getting into. I know exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Super easy. And there was something I didn't know. So I asked a question. Well, we have to get on a call. I don't know. We'll get to the answer. So then, okay, fine. I get on the call for product number one. They still won't give me the answer. But instead, well, we can't give you pricing until we go through. I'm like, but the pricing's on your website. Well, we're going to give you different pricing. I'm like, okay, maybe this is like. So they do the call. Didn't give me I'll get you the answer. 2 days go by. I get a quote for 10 times the price for a custom solution.
Whoa.
They still haven't answered my question, which to then, by the time I got the quote, I had just gone online and signed up anyway because I needed what they were offering. And I figured, okay, I'll figure it out later. And there's no commitment. I can cancel if I have to.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is 10 times what you were going to charge me. I'm already signed up. Thanks. Bye. So
that's buyer number. That's product number one. Was it a similar experience with the other one as well, or is there something different?
Product number two was not. So this is different in that they had like their low and medium tiered product you could buy online.
Yeah.
Third level. Again, we're talking about like $99, $199. I think like $349 for the third.
Yeah. So we're not talking about the enterprise software.
These are not enterprise, 6-figure deals. Right. So that one I said, okay, hey, interested in and this time I said, I'm a previous customer. What's your pricing on this tier? And I want to integrate with the system. Want you to know you're listed. Okay. Proceeds to only call me on my phone, like doesn't email me. And I'm like, okay. And I guess like I've become millennial-ish in the sense that I don't want to talk to you on the phone. That's a word, millennial-ish. Anyway. And then is not giving me the answer. I said, okay, well, can you just give me a link to sign up? He's like, well, I have to have a call with you first to see if you're a fit before I can give you that. Now, again, I can understand like not wanting to have a customer that you're not going to satisfy, but I literally said like current customer, good to go.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was being processed to death.
Yep.
Like
all right. So you mentioned the rant channel in the Slack, in the CMO Slack, definitely cheap therapy. And look, I mean, these are legit concerns as far as I'm concerned, right? I mean, the fact that like you were ready to buy, you got credit card out, like why create friction in that process? Okay, totally makes sense. Now, from a seller's perspective, I know I've seen this movie before, and so you've got someone that is saying, okay, we want to qualify a prospect. We want to make sure someone knows why they're buying, even if they say they want it, or they're buying it for the right reasons. So I get why they're doing that. But, I often think about sort of proactive and reactive sales targets. Like, I'm going to spend time and effort to go after customers that distinctly meet a narrow ideal customer profile. If someone outside of that profile, if they don't meet all 13 characteristics of whatever I've defined for my ICP, but they're coming to me saying, I really want that, in the same way that I would not want to put a form in front of them to keep them from getting the white paper or learning something, why would I want them make them walk through that process? And so if you think about the Challenger sale, it's all about this methodology of creating commercial insights and reframing problems. And then at the very end of the book, what people forget is it then says, okay, this is for the majority, but not all of your prospects. Right. You have to be creative and have exceptions when prospects are good, but don't look exactly like this. And so, I mean, look, we're both buyers, but we're also both sellers. And so like, we kind of play both sides of this. Like, how do you solve for this in the wild? Like, how can companies be good at qualification and following a process, but when they see and experience people like you let them through?
I think you have to have, I mean, if you, some level of light qualification where you can engage instantly, right? So like in that first example, like, well, let's set up a call, which was going to be, they weren't available for 2 days.
Yeah.
Right. So like do something where like, all right, can you chat now? Or can you like just get me right in? Because like if they said like, hey, I can talk for 10 minutes, whether it's like the chat box turns into, a conference, or you just say like, hey, what's your number? Like I was in that mode. I was good to go. So I think it's like engage like immediately.
Yeah.
And don't like push it out. I think that's that's like super basic, but I think in that sense where you want to get the buyer when they're in the mindset of like, I'm ready to buy. So talk to me right now. I mean, there's so many tech tools out there to do something like that. I think that's one. And then 2, like, hey, you know what? That's great. Love for you to sign up. Let me help you sign up. Let me walk you through get into like an onboarding discussion right away or something, just to like keep the engagement, because it's totally like on wanting to understand. You don't want someone to sign up who's not going to fit, but like temper my enthusiasm immediately, as opposed to like making me wait.
Yeah, and I think sort of one of the lessons I think out of this is like, yes, train your process, like build a process that helps you get the right customers in the right mindset to sign. Make sure your sales team knows how to follow the process, but also train them on the exceptions. Train them on what to look for, what to listen for someone that doesn't need those steps. And I think that applies not only to your process, I need to get you on a discovery call, but also applies to, I'm asking you a question. I'm engaging with you right now. I don't need to schedule a phone call. Your point about chat. I mean, chat is a great way to say, I want a direct conversation with someone. They don't want to get on the phone. They just want quick answers to something. We don't have to just do this in email. And it's fine to say, here's our process. And so, if you've got a sales manager that says, well, we get them on the phone and you can have it all faster, that's on you, seller. Like, what if the buyer doesn't want that? Exactly. And so again, just like with forms, you're creating friction where friction doesn't need to exist. It doesn't mean you now just go willy-nilly and just pick up the phone and do whatever a customer wants. You still have your process. You still have your buying journey. You still have your preferred channels, but you just can't apply that to everybody.
And the days of salespeople as gatekeepers, like that's got to be over. Like they're not like, they should be a facilitator. They're not, they're not a gatekeeper. And that's kind of what, like, the gate was open and then it was closed. So keep it open.
Yeah. Well, I think the sales rep as qualifier, the sales rep as gatekeeper, Brian Adamson earlier this year, sort of his new research from Gartner says that the sales rep has to be a sense maker. Yeah. Right. And that sense making is not only sort of condensing and curating content into something that makes sense, but also is like for someone like yourself who's coming, I just have a question. Like I just have one obstacle. Okay. Like, let me make sense of that. Right. So be a facilitator, not a constrictor of the process. All right. Well, we were gonna do this short, less than 10 minutes. Hopefully it's been cathartic for you. I think we've done a little bit of ranting, but then hopefully also sort of provided a little practical advice for people listening as well. We're gonna post this up on the CMO group and see what they think of us as well. But Adam, as always, good to see you.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it.
We'll see you at Last Sip Club.
Take care.
Bye.